Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Eghe and this is Fictional Haven. So today we're going to be looking at my bookish goals for 2022 or my 2022 bookish goals. So yeah, so far so good. 2021 we're almost done with it. We just have like I believe two weeks ish left and then we're on to 2022, and at this point honestly I'm actually ready for 2021 to be over. It has been a year. I feel let's just go straight into my bookish goals because you know me, I don't like to waste your time too much. Reliable and fast. Goal for next year is to read more sci-fi. Okay, so sci-fi is one of those genres that I'm like, oh, I feel like I'll be into it. I feel like I'll be into sci-fi, but I haven't read enough to say that oh, sci-fi is my jam or my thing. I've read a few. Like this year, I feel like I read like 3 sci-fi books, at least 3, and they were all okay. They were all nice, but I want to know, like, know if sci-fi is my bread and butter, the way fantasy is. So next year, I'm going to prioritize a lot of sci-fis rather than fantasy. Of course, I'm still going to read fantasy, but I'm going to actually make effort for sci-fi next. So my next goal is to read more fantasy, epic adult fantasy books. That was a lot. So my next goal is to read more epic adult fantasy. Why? Because not that I feel like epic fantasy is where it's at, and I'm already good with YA. Me and YA we're already friends. Adult fantasy, on the other hand, it's still a shaky relationship. So next year, I'm going to go in all the popular series. I'm going to finish them next year. Okay, that was a lot. Even now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think that's possible. But yeah, most of the very popular epic adult fantasy series out there, I'm looking at Brandon Sanderson. I'm looking at Wheel of Time. Is there any other one? There's a lot. Oh, that other one, Red Rising, although I think that one is sci-fi. But yeah, you know, those popular series, the Lightbringer, the what other one? The First Law. Is there any other one? I will do my research. But next year I'm going to face those popular ones and also the up and coming ones. And just any adult fantasy that is an epic fantasy at this point. I'm going to look into it. My next goal is to read more thriller and horror books. Why? Because this year 2021 I was slacking on the thrillers and horrors. I don't even think I read up to 3 horror/thriller books this year, and that's very bad. I like to think of myself as somebody that can read from any genre, and I cannot be bragging about something like that if I am not reading from all the genres that I feel like I can read from. So next year I'm going to up my thriller game. I'm going to up my horror game. I'm going to see what's out there. I'm going to try the different sub-genres for these 2 massive genres and see what I like, because I feel like there's a lot, especially for thrillers. Apparently there's romantic suspense or romance suspense. It's in the cross between thrillers and romance. So yes, I'm going to go there. What else? Domestic thrillers, that is also something I am interested in exploring. And for horror, I really don't know a lot of sub-genres in horror. I only know about slasher books. Is that how they say it? But anyway, next year I'm going to tackle everything. I'm going there. I'm going to read everything. I want to be, yes, I don't know at this point. My Stephen King. The Stephen Kings on my shelf. I'm going to read them, but they are so big, so I don't even know. But yes, the Stephen Kings on my shelf, I'm going to read them next year. The thrillers, I've been gathering thrillers, like, okay, not a lot, but I've been gathering thrillers. I'm going to read them. Next year is going to be the year for me. Horror and thrillers, I'm coming for them. So my next bookish goal is to read more translated fiction by it, not necessarily just translated fiction, but just more works from Asian authors, South American authors, and from the authors from the Arab world also. I feel like I'm missing out on a lot by not looking for books from this category. So next year is going to be the year where I am going to purposefully, is that how they say it, where I'm going to consciously try and pick out translated fiction or just normal fiction by authors from this categories, like from Asian authors, South American authors, and also from the Arab world. Next year I'm going to actually consciously make an effort to read more from them, because I just feel like there's just a lot. There's a whole new world there that I am not participating in. And so my next bookish goal is to read more non-fiction, at least 12 non-fiction next year. That's a goal for me. I'm going to try my very best to read at least 12 non-fiction books next year. It's in my mind, it's one for each month, but it probably won't go like that. But at least by the ending of next year, I want to beat my chest and say that yes, I read at least 12 non-fiction books. So we'll see how that goes. So my next goal will be to try a genre that I would typically run away from, except self-help books. Except self-help books. Next year, I'm going to try a new genre that I would typically run away from. Like when I see that, I'm just like, this is not my usual cup of tea. So next year, I'm going to live in the fast lane. I'm going to be on the wilder side of life. I'm going to be reading from genres I would not try on a normal day, because that's just who I am. I live the fast life, living on the edge. That is my lifestyle. So my next goal is to read more books by African authors and Caribbean authors. At least 40% of the books I read next year has to be by Caribbean/African authors. Why am I making this a goal, even if it's a given? Because I noticed that I actually buy them. Like, I buy books. I noticed that I buy a lot of books from African authors and Caribbean authors, at least the ones I see and can afford at the time when I have money. I always make an effort to buy books from this category, but I always end up just using them to decorate my shelf. Like, half of the books of my shelf that are from African authors or Caribbean authors, I've only read, like, let's say if I have 50 books on my shelf and 40 of them are from Caribbean and African authors, then there's a really high chance that I've only read 2 out of the 40 books. So next year is mostly a read the books on my shelf goal, but like, I'm going to try and read more books by African and Caribbean authors. At least 40% of the books I read next year must be from this category, because I'm just gathering them, I'm not reading them, and that's not good enough. So it's actually a writing goal, because I don't talk about this a lot, but I am an aspiring writer and I have not written anything in close to 3 years now. So my goal for next year is to get back on the writing game and at least complete one draft of one of the books that I have in mind to work on. So that's a goal. I'm going to try my best. This was also a goal. This was also one of the goals for 2021, but school, I was in my final year. I was struggling with school. I really did not have time. But since I'm done with school now, I'm hoping I'll have a little bit more time to work on this particular goal. So my next goal is to read all the physical books on my TBR, which means I'm going to read everything on my shelf. In fact, from the 1st of January 2022, I'm going to be on a book buying ban till my birthday. So I have from January till the middle of February to finish reading all the books on my shelf, or at least 85% of the books on my shelf. And if I finish reading them by my birthday, then I'm going to splurge and buy a lot of books. But if I don't, I'll probably still splurge and buy a lot of books. But that's not the point. That's not the point. The point is, before my birthday, I have to finish at least, I have to read more than 50% of the books on my TBR. And by the end of the year, I don't want to have any physical book on my TBR. They should all be script, ebooks, and audiobooks that I just have pending and don't know when to read. Just go into my other bookish goals that are not technically book related, but they are still kind of book related. So the first is to hit I don't think I can do this. My first bookish goal for 2022 is to hit 500k on BookTube. Yes, I want to see. So why this feels impossible to me is because today is the 19th. What day is today? I think today is 19th. I'm not sure. Don't hold me. I don't know time. I don't know time at all. So don't hold me accountable, but I believe today is the 19th of December, and right now I have 95 subscribers. So how I'm going to jump from 95 to 500 by the end of 2022, I do not know, but it's a goal. I'm going to try and work my way towards 500k by, did I just say 500 subscriber by the end of next year. So keeping my fingers, because frankly I don't think I can do it. I'm not trying to be a pessimist or anything. I just feel like with the type of person I am, maybe 150 by next year, sure, but 500, that's a lot. But I'm not going to think about it too much. I'm going to hit 500 subscribers by the end of next year. That's the plan, that's the goal, and we're going to do it. My next bookish goal is to hit 2k on Bookstagram by the end of next year. So while I'm almost okay, I'm not almost close, but like I'm close to 800 subscribers right now on Bookstagram. So I'm hoping that by January or ending of February I would hit 1k on Bookstagram, and then after that I don't know how I'm going to do it, but once I hit 1k I feel like I might be able to achieve 2k by the end of the year if I really and truly do hit 1k by February ending. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's just, I'm just here wishing for the best. Honestly, I don't know how I'm going to do these things because I am a very antisocial person, and this is a community, so you need to be social in order to build your community. So it's a struggle, but we're getting there. We're just 1 year. So my next goal is to be more interactive on Twitter / Bookstagram / Booktube. Although I feel like I do fairly well on Bookstagram already. That's like my most active place, then followed by Booktube. Twitter is like a graveyard for me right now. It's a struggle, but I believe that by the end of next year I will be better than I am this year. My next and final bookish related goal is to start making book looks / cosplay on Bookstagram. This is something I've always wanted to do. Like, I like looking at people do book looks, and also I'm just a massive fan of cosplays. I just enjoy watching people cosplay, and so next year my goal is to start cosplaying and doing book looks and just anything in between. But I frankly don't know how I'm going to do it. Oh, by the way, if you've been hearing someone talking in the background or music, there's an event center very close to my house. We're neighbors, in fact, and today is Saturday, and Saturday is party day, so bear with me. I'm sorry. I'm seriously sorry, but I can't do anything. I frankly cannot stop it or do anything about it, so I'm sorry. Anyway, as I was saying, so yeah, my goal is to try and start cosplaying. Frankly, I should have started this year. But I did not start because I was just really scared, because I really don't have anything. I don't have materials or anything for it, but it's something I would really love to do. And I'm actually quite scared that what I have in my head is not going to be what is going to happen, like what I'm going to produce. I'm just scared to mess it up, basically, but I'm going to actually try. So by the end of next year, when we do our check-in to see if I actually did this, we'll see by that time. So 2022 again, I hope you actually do these things that you've set out for yourself to do. I also want to open a separate page for just general cosplaying, just cosplaying in general. So anyway, so we've come to the end of this video. Thank you for watching with me so far, and don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you in my next video.